What's up, Tater Tots? It's your girl Tati, back at it with another video. And this video is gonna be a chit chat. So let's get right into it. This has been a difficult video for me to film. I'm gonna be honest with you all. I have struggled with, okay, how do I want to go about this? How do I want it to look in this video? What is the message I want to send? And I am actually really happy that I waited. I've been beating myself up about it, but I'm actually happy that I waited because I can give you all this vibe that I want to give, okay? Don't get me wrong, this is a serious video, but I really wanted to start this video off just telling y'all about Toyin and the amazing person that she seemed to be. Now y'all have to do y'all research on this girl. Look her up. But when you look her up, don't just look up her story. Like, find out about this girl and like who she was. So the main factor how a lot of people know her is that she's a 19-year-old activist. I'm sorry, I have my notes down here just in case, you know, could go back. But she was an activist. She was 19 years old. And there's a video of her around where it's just this rawness. If you've ever advocated for something, you know, being early on and being a baby, just in the streets, just speaking up for what was right, you know? You could just feel the passion, like when she spoke and when you saw her. And even some of her friends said that, like, during this time where she was doing the rallies and, you know, having protesting, that's where she really came alive. And that's some of the happiest that they've ever seen her. And protesting could go either way, but I'm really happy that for her, she found that joy in it. She was actually, one of the videos that got spouted around was actually where she was advocating for someone. And when I originally saw the video, I thought it was for George Floyd. I thought she was, you know, advocating for this black man, which is great, you know. But actually, I think the video that's actually circulating, she was actually advocating for Tony McDade, and that is a trans man. And that was a trans man. And they're so forgotten in this fight of Black Lives Matter. So for her to be so, like, just inclusive and fighting and making sure that when we say Black Lives Matter, we're saying all Black lives. That's something that, man, I really admire. And some more stuff, you know, about Toyin, because we know about the activists, we know a little bit about that. You could look that up. Some more things that y'all may not know about her, some things that I want to look into, is that she actually taught herself how to paint. She taught herself how to sew, and she taught herself how to design her own clothes. So she was quite the creative. You see behind me, I have my painting. Some of you can see that I've painted, so I can identify with that, having a passion for different things. Mine is more makeup, but I do love clothes too. And to teach yourself how to sew, baby, it's not an easy feat, okay? And to be designing your own clothes and just to be this creative person, like the things that she had dreams. And of course, she had dreams and aspirations of, you know, being an activist or fighting. But I want people to know that especially Black women, we are so much more than an activist. She's so much more than just a martyr, just somebody who you know, lost her life in this battle or this fight for justice. She had dreams. She even started a little bit of modeling. If you see some of her pictures, she's a beautiful woman, a beautiful chocolate, just goddess. And you know, I'm talking more and more about her, but I really want to get into like why her story is important and why I wanted to bring this to you all, especially for me. During that time where her story started to come to light, it was already after George Floyd. It was already after Breonna Taylor. It was around that time. I was going through some things personally, and I saw a lot of myself in her. Some of you know I'm growing my hair back out, so I have braids, but at the time my hair was low, it was blonde. I had a short cut, so in a lot of her pictures it's like short cut blonde, all of that. She's dark skinned. She, you know, comes from this environment. And I saw so much of myself for her, especially with the activism and starting off so young, and me remembering back to when I was 18 and I first came to Prairie View, and my first semester there I was marching in the streets for Sandra Bland, you know, like it's really young, and remembering those times and how swept under the rug I felt her story was, and how much I just feel that we kind of forgot her, and how we kind of, honestly, to be honest, wait until it's a little too late. So I'm gonna get into a little deeper moment and tell you all like about it. But Toyin was murdered. So I'm gonna get into it a little bit more. I'm sorry, y'all, I had to take a little pause, but about, you know, the event. So after Toyin, she's starting to get more traction for being an activist. She you know, started making more of a name for herself, but also Toyin was going through a lot of things at home, which I think a lot of us can relate to. And she did not have a very good home environment at all. There was, from what I've read, abuse going on in her home, and so she was escaping them. And so she sought refuge with someone who was supposed to just drop her off, you know, take her somewhere where she could be for the night. And that person sexually assaulted her. And so Toyin took to the internet, and she went to Twitter, and she just told everyone about kind of what happened, who the man was, what he looked like, what he drove, just to let everybody know that, hey, this happened to me, you know, and especially somebody that I thought was going to protect me. So, you know, you all be careful, but just letting her story be known, of knowing what happened to her. And later on, that same man murdered her. He murdered her along with another woman, but they were both murdered, and they were found. And this is sort of sadly how I kind of came about her story, because it was the hashtag Justice for Toyin, and where people had petitions. Oh my God, I loved it. People had petitions starting up for her, and people had GoFundMes, making sure that there were also something that's important that I loved about the activists or the women who were involved, were that they're making sure to give the money to the right organizations or the right people, because she was not talking to her family at that time. She was going through home issues. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later on when we talk about like what you all can kind of do to help. But for right now, you know, I just wanna, we're gonna come back to that. But so yes, so I came across her story. That's where I read more about it, and I learned so much about this girl. And I just feel like I just feel so much of myself in her, and I felt so invisible, and I feel like if I died in the streets, nobody would care. Like, I would spend my whole life fighting and being an activist for everyone else, and to be murdered, not even crazily, not even with anything to do necessarily with my activism with like civil rights, but just because someone did something to me and I told my story. And that happens a lot with us and with minority groups, of being, you know, a dark-skinned Black woman, or even if somebody is trans, or just a part of the LGBTQ community, or somebody is poor, somebody doesn't have education, so many things, featureism, with how Toyin is not just dark. She has the 4C hair, she has the big nose, big lips, just like me. We both look like Black girls. No matter where you drop us off at, we are Black, you know? And I'm smiling because I'm trying to, you know, keep uplifting. I'm trying to make it through this, but it's something serious, and I want us to really get past being reactive to things. I want our trans men and trans women and our little boys and little girls. I want them to stop having to be hashtags for us to start doing something. We have to do more. And so, like, honestly, the time has kind of passed for Toyin necessarily to help out with her funeral or donate to her cause necessarily. But there's so much that you can do for just other young Black women and other minority groups. And so the first thing that I want you all to do is to educate yourself. And honestly, if you clicked on this video, you are already there. You're already doing, you're trying to figure out who these people are and learn more about them. Educate yourself. Educate yourself on, and not just on Toyin, the activist. Don't just educate yourself on that. I want you to educate yourself on who is Toyin the person. Make her human to you. Don't just educate yourself on the Breonna Taylor case and how this is what the police officer did. Of course, you want to educate yourself and know that, but also learn about who Breonna Taylor was. What were the things that she stood for? What were the things that she loved? Make her human to you. Black women are so much more than these strong people, these strong activists, and we're gonna fight till we gonna be tired till we can't be tired. They're more. They're human. They get tired. They cry. They hurt, and we need to know that they go through these things before they're dead. Before it's too late. So really educate yourself, and I'm gonna leave some links down below on stories where you can educate yourself about Toyin. And you all can leave some comments down if there are other Black women, just other things that you want to have us educate ourselves on, and of course, on as well. Number 2 is to invest. And I need you to actively, to consciously do this, okay? And some of you, if you have been on my channel, if you have not, the part of this is like, it's not just, oh, if I see a dark-skinned girl, I'm gonna invest in her. Or if I see a young Black girl, I'm gonna try my best. It's actively looking for that talent, looking for the dark-skinned talent, looking for the dark-skinned activists, looking for the plus-size activists, looking for the LGBTQ community activists. Actively searching, and not just activists. They don't even have to be activists, because a lot of people who are like us, a lot of minorities are activists because we have to be. Because our lives are political statements, not because we want to be. So even that, and I'm training myself, as you all can see, to stop referring to them as activists and start looking for that talent, looking for those people and supporting those people, actively investing. And I'm actually going to leave some information down below too as well, because Justice for Girls, I believe, Justice for Black Girls started a fund in the name of Toyin, so under her, for young Black girls who may be having issues at home, because that's one of the reasons that Toyin is not here with us anymore. She sought refuge with someone else because of the problems at home, because she wasn't able to afford certain things, and unfortunately that person did not help her out like we were in the... Unfortunately, that person decided to harm her. So that other Black girls don't have to go through that. They started a fund, and you all can donate directly to them. I'm going to leave more about their site. You can go look at their site, look at the things that they've done, where their funds go to, all of that. That's where I will be, where I would like to donate as well. So that's one place. If you all know other places to donate, to help out other minorities, let me know. But that's specifically to help out in the name of Toyin. And that's something that's important, that I feel like we all need to do. We all have to start putting our money where our mouth is, putting our time where our mouth is, putting our energy, putting our efforts. They don't just, I saw a post on Twitter, Black women don't need no more mentors. We need the jobs. We need the opportunities. That's what we need. We don't just need the, oh, you're strong, and the oh, you're a strong woman, you could do this. I need help outside of that. Okay? And yeah, so that's one way you can invest. And then last thing that I'm gonna call you all to do is to advocate And honestly, advocate for these groups, but try to amplify their voices. So yes, advocating is good and speaking up for these groups are good, but making sure that you are allowing these groups to have their own voice. And that takes a lot. It takes somebody who's going to be able to listen. You have to get to know these groups of people, and trust them. And an example that I would give with advocating is that, or amplifying, I try to advocate for plus size people. I try to advocate for LGBTQ community people, but I also remind myself that sometimes I need to mind my skinny business or mind my straight business. And all I mean by that is, you know how some people say, oh, as a straight person, you just don't understand LGBTQ people, or you might not understand. It's not meant for me to understand. Okay? It's not. At the end of the day, if I don't understand it, I'ma just mind my business. That's one, just don't say anything, but also making sure I'm amplifying, because all I'm doing is crowding the space. All I'm doing, speaking on certain things, is speaking over these people, saying it doesn't make any sense, and you don't have to listen to them, putting my voice over. You don't get it? Be quiet and listen, and maybe you'll get it. If you listen and allow them to explain this to you, you may get it. And it may be some things that you just will never get because you will never be in their experience, but it's a difference. Just try to be empathetic and think about, hey, if I was talking about something that somebody would never in a million years understand because they're not me, how would I feel if they told me, oh, that doesn't make any sense? Or, oh, I don't understand, so I don't care. You know, how would you feel in those situations? Being like that. And I'm actually going to talk about more about this. So another one of my tater thoughts that I want to have coming up is more about how you can help and how you can be an ally. That word. I have a love-hate relationship with the word ally. But if you all really want to learn more about being an ally, of course, do all the things that I said in this video. You know, educate yourself, invest, amplify voices. But I also will make a separate video for you all to see. So if you all are interested in that, just let me know. And it will probably be linked down below when it comes. But yes, I'm going on almost 20 minutes, so that's the end of this video. I want to thank God that I made it through this video without crying. I'm happy that I made it through this video, and I'm so happy about the energy of this video because, like I said, this is something that's so serious, y'all. It is something that's so serious, but I don't want this to be about her death. I want this to be about her life. I want us to celebrate her life, to celebrate the things that she did, and to fight for, to use, you know, the time that we have, that was taken away from her, to do the things that she cared about. So to invest in dark-skinned creatives and dark-skinned artists and dark-skinned fashion designers, to invest and getting models that don't look like what's normal, and making sure that we invest and we amplify and we make sure that if you want to support Toyin, if you want to, you care about it, making sure that, okay, we're supporting Black Lives Matter. We're making sure that in our own way of making sure that we're supporting Black lives, making sure that we're supporting trans lives, these different minority groups. That's what this is about, okay? That's what I want us to do. Okay, you guys, so it's about that time, so I want to tell you all, make sure you share this video. And usually I say share this video so that we can get more people into this potato family, but honestly I want you to share this video so we can get talking more about Toyin. Make sure you're doing the hashtag justice for Toyin. I loved what y'all did for her birthday. Make sure we're sharing this, and make sure that we are having these conversations, but about Black women that are alive. Let's make sure that we don't have to get to this point to where we're being reactive to something happening to Black women, or being reactive to a Black woman dying. Let's celebrate, support, and be about Black women being alive. Okay, you guys? Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And last but not least, before you go, you know what you gotta do, right? You gotta subscribe to my channel so you could grow with your girl. So you can grow with your girl. So you can grow with your girl. Break it down. Break it down. Guys, I really love you guys. Wow.